business with the best in the industry. Do business with the Davis Realty.
Welcome to another episode of the Don Davis Real Estate Show. It's your host, Don Davis of Don Davis Luxury Realty Group, brokered by EXP, broadcasting live here from 6161 Savoy, 100.7 KKHT, the Word FM. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. Upon that rock, he built his church, and upon that rock, we have built our business, and our results are a reflection of our character. We have built our business based on the Word, and we wanted to definitely welcome you this September 1st, 2019, to the Don Davis Real Estate Show. We're going to talk about a lot of testimonial things today as far as how we have built our business on the Word of God. And we're glad you tuned in both on Facebook, YouTube, and none other but 100.7 The Word FM, KKHT. Wanted to talk about today about Romans chapter 8, coming fresh out of Lakewood Church, where we had Pastor John Gray from Relentless Church. He was sharing with us that all things work together for the good of those who love God. And so all things, anytime you say all things, you wonder, well, hey, man, things aren't going right now. We give you an example on the radio show. Well, on our YouTube, we don't have as many subscribers as we would like. So you kind of wonder, hey, is what I'm doing working? Am I on track to what I'm supposed to be doing in my career field, in my professional life, in my social life, in my anything I'm doing? Do all things really work together for those who love God? And so you have to ask yourself, do all things work together? So it made me look back at my testimonials as far as my lifespan. Me personally, I was raised in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home on Pier and Beam in the east side of San Antonio. A 2-bedroom, 1-bath home on the east side of San Antonio, 896 square feet. Not a very big home at all. And I think back to where I wondered how all things work together for the good for me to wind up selling luxury homes in the greater Houston area in the inner loop communities in a luxurious real estate market. So I started preparing and comparing the pros and cons of both neighborhoods. So when I really started to look back at both neighborhoods, the neighborhood I grew up in, there was a sense of community because there was less space or less square footage to be called your own. So less square footage to be called your own. And what I mean by that is a lot of times nowadays, if you go to the federal housing website, if you go to HUD, you go to some of these websites, they have a maximum amount of occupants per property. So if you're on Section 8 right now and you say you want a 4-bedroom home, there's a maximum amount of occupants. So typically they don't allow more than 2 people per bedroom. And if they only allow 2 people per bedroom, there's a certain amount of square footage that's allocated per person to give them the required space that they need to remain functional in that aspect. And I thought about all things working together for the good of those who love him. And so sometimes we're in an uncomfortable place initially. Initially, you might be sharing a room with a brother or a sister, and your whole goal is to get out of your parents' house because you need your space. A lot of times the people are in the inner loop of Houston, and they love it. But once they have children, they want to go out to the suburbs because they need their space. And so my thing is I really started elaborating on real estate and all things working together for good for those who love him, whether it's in the space you're in now. And sometimes it's the things we think we need, we don't necessarily need. So some people say, hey, I need my space. I just need to be alone. And the next thing you hear, they're buying a dog because now they need companionship. So do all things work together? Yes, all things will work together, but you need to know where you're at in the process. Is your space sufficient for thee? My son asked me for another cell phone the other day, and I was thinking, you want a phone, but my thing as a parent, I'm always asking, okay, is what I'm going to give you going to be beneficial for you, or could it stunt your growth? And I know a lot of people are praying for larger homes, larger properties, more money, more cars, but is that going to benefit you, or is that going to stunt your growth? So you really have to realize that no matter what season you're in, you need to be content where you are. So if you have an apartment, be content in your apartment. If you are having a ranch, be content in your ranch. in that season. But I'll always keep in mind the grass is not greener on the other side. But I just thought about reflecting back on how I was raised in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home, and now I'm in a over 3,000 square foot home. But I don't realize, well, I won't say I don't realize, I do see the advantages of community versus space. So never substitute community for space. Community is what keeps people together. People need each other. And I just wanted to kind of share that on my soapbox, that all things work together for the good. So don't try to keep up with the Joneses. We're going to go ahead and go to our first break. Once again, love where you live, love what you do. This is Don Davis Real Estate Show. I am Don Davis of DDLRG Luxury International Real Estate, and when it's time to make a business decision about your residence, please keep in mind, it's a Don deal.
DDLRG is for all family groups, whether it's singles, married couples, or families. They specialize, however, in the higher-end upscale properties, but they can handle all borrowers.
We want to create raving fans.
When it's time to make a business decision about your residence, it's a Don deal. All right, we're back. Don Davis Real Estate Show, DDLRG Luxury International, brokered by EXP, Don Davis Luxury Realty Group, diversity and luxury, kind of connecting the dots today. We're talking about suburb life. We're talking about condo life. We're talking about all things working together for the goodness and glory of God, and understanding that it's all right to be content where you are, because sometimes the grass is greener on the other side, and with more property becomes more responsibility. And I know farmers who have to get up and feed their livestock and till to the ground. And then I know people who own condos who just get up and go and let the concierge take care of the rest. So whatever season you're in your life, you want to make sure you're in the season that God has you in for the reasons that he has you in that season, and that you live your best life, that you appreciate where you are at that time. And there's nothing wrong with goal setting and transitioning. I understand our family needs change and things like that. So I just kind of want to touch on being content where you are, but setting goals that don't strain yourself. And the reason I really looked into this is because I was reading the Texas Real Estate Association magazine that we get in the mail as real estate agents. And the Real Estate magazine kind of gave some statistics that would surprise the heck out of you. And what I meant by that is people think that first-time home buyers are always millennials, and all first-time home buyers are not millennials. There was a testimony today at Lakewood Church where Pastor John Gray preached on the fact that a lady finally bought her first home at 65 years old. So I want to look into that even more. And that's when I found out that 12% of first-time home buyers are between the age of 54 and 63. 12% of first-time home buyers are between the age of 54 and 63. So what that tells me is that they had to overcome some generational things. And that's typically there's generations. I mean, I grew up in a very diverse community where people got comfortable on public housing. And when you get comfortable on public housing, you don't think to take care of your credit. You don't think to take care of some things, and you don't realize, or maybe you don't have an opportunity to do it. It's not saying that you're ignorant or anything like that. Sometimes you just have never been enlightened on the process to where you end up throwing money away for 30 to 40 years. So we want to make sure here at Don Davis Luxury Realty Group that we're giving everybody an opportunity to have the benefit of home ownership, regardless of age, race, sex, religion, and color. We want to give you the opportunity to own a home. And so any first-time home buyers between the age of 54 and 63, please give us a call, because we understand there is a need. 12% of first-time home buyers right now are between the age of 54 and 63 years old. Don't be embarrassed to apply for a loan. Don't be embarrassed to own a home. Don Davis Luxury Realty Group, we can help you with that. And then another twist that we came across this week is that the fact that most millennials like older homes. Man, I'm telling you, the grass is greener on the other side. Everybody, so you got the fat guys want to be skinny, you got the skinny guys want to be fat, you got the blonde girls want to be brunette, and you got the brunette girls want to be blonde. So guess what? These young whippersnappers prefer older homes because these young whippersnappers have an attention to detail. They actually appreciate the details that go on to the older homes versus the cookie cutters. So if your target audience is a younger guy, a younger couple, a younger woman, 9 times out of 10, they might want some older homes. And it also goes back to where they were raised and things like that. It gives them the feeling of home. So that's another statistic for any realtors out there farming. A lot of times they think, oh, I'm after the millennials. Well, guess what? 12% of first-time home buyers are between the age of 54 and 63. And then also you think, okay, I got a millennial in the car. I'm going to go show them a brand new home. Guess what? Quite a few millennials, they like older homes. So the first thing you send a millennial should not be a cookie cutter home. You should go ahead and ask them in a buyer's interview exactly what are you looking for in a home. And 9 times out of 10, they don't want the open floor plan. I had a millennial who said, Don, if you show me one more house with an open floor plan, he said, I want a wall in between my kitchen and my dining room because it reminds me of when my mom prepared dinner for us so she could surprise us with her cooking. If it's an open floor plan, I can see what you're cooking. If you stir the pot 2 times, I can see it. That leaves no room for surprises. So keep in mind to interview the buyer. Clients, keep in mind to let your realtor know, just because I'm young doesn't mean I want a young home. Sometimes younger people do like older homes. So that was one thing I discovered also. And then all buyers, kind of like Romans 8, all buyers are looking for energy efficiency homes. So that's one thing we all agree on. Whether you're older or younger, we all want something where the utility bill is low. So if you do get an older home, make sure they have updated the insulation to you have the radiant barrier roofing, and that way you can get you a home with a good HERS rating, HERS. Look at that HERS rating and the energy efficiency of that home, so you don't spend all your money on the energy, and most of your money will go towards principal. We're going to go ahead and go to our next break, but that was just the spinning news of the week in the real estate market. First-time home buyers, 12% of them are between 54 and 63, and younger buyers like older homes. Don Davis Real Estate Show. Love where you live, love where you work. DDLRG. I am Don Davis of DDLRG Luxury International Real Estate, and when it's time to make a business decision about your residence, please keep in mind, it's a Don deal.
I thought that Don Davis was honest and fair. He made us feel like family.
He was very communicative and very informative.
He just helped me to make it very easy, pointed me in the right directions, and gave me a lot of information about what to look out, for.
When it's time to make a business decision about your residence, it's a Don deal. We're back. Don Davis Real Estate Show, Don Davis Luxury Realty Group. Giving a shout out to John Tripp, who's in town. Justin Rockets got a victory yesterday over Clear Springs. Thanks for tuning in. I was at that football game with y'all handled your business. Shout out to the Chandler family for handling your business. Now we're going to talk about 4 phases of financial maturity. Like football. Well, I'm glad I mentioned football first. Oh, by the way, shout out to Katy Tigers, too, for upsetting Galena Park North Shore. Well, it wasn't really an upset to me, but it was an upset to them because they didn't know that I knew that we worked hard all summer, so I kind of expected that. So we look forward to playing them again in the playoffs. However, just like football, there's 4 quarters. And in finances and real estate finance, there's 4 quarters. There's survival, first quarter. Second quarter is stuff, where you start to decorate the home and add, hey, I want to add crown molding. Hey, I want to add granite. Hey, I want to get these new blinds, these plantation shutters. Hey, I want to add this, add that. That's the stuff. Second quarter. That's the second phase of financial maturity in home ownership. And the third phase is accumulation. That's when we just start going to Stars or Gallery Furniture, and we just want everything that Mattress Mac says he's going to bet us. We want to fill up the house with Mattress Mac stuff. That's the accumulation phase. That's the third quarter. And in the fourth quarter, of real estate investment is where you become a philanthropist. You pretty much say, hey, I own a home. So since I own a home, I like this. I kind of like having the ability to own a home. And now since I own a home, I'm going to own some more. So that's another reason to go ahead and buy a home from Don Davis Luxury Realty Group. That's very important to understand the benefits of home ownership are not just financial, but it's a peace of mind. I mean, they say the lender is a master to the borrower, and I guess like Miss Cooksey says, we have a sister Cooksey in real estate in the 3rd Ward. She says you don't want to be house poor or have your things not together to where you have a Land Rover and a landlord. She said that doesn't go in the same sentence. How can you have a Land Rover and a landlord? Always make sure you own the land before you start to rove. So that's very important that we keep our priorities in order and we understand the benefits of home ownership, not only for the peace of mind, but also just because anytime you're in somebody else's property, they can govern what goes on in that property. So the 4 phases of home ownership and home ownership financial maturity are survival, where, hey, man, I just trying to pay my rent. Then, okay, I'm just trying to pay my mortgage. Then 2nd quarter, okay, we got the house. Now let's get some stuff. Let's add mulch. Let's improve this. Let's improve that. Then 3rd phase is accumulation. Hey, well, man, we're going to put a new dining room set in here. We're going to put a projector. We're going to go ahead and add a media room. We're going to go ahead and do it up. And then in the 4th phase is philanthropist. You want to become a philanthropist to where you don't put all your eggs in one basket. So 4 phases of financial maturity when it comes to home ownership. It's very important. Don Davis Luxury Realty Group, we're all about the 7 C's of real estate also, and that's the covenants. We want to make sure the covenants of the area are good. We want to make sure everything is up to code. We want to make sure the conditions of the property are well maintained. We don't want any mold or anything like that, and that's why we refer third-party inspectors. We also want to make sure that there's no contingencies. What that means is we don't like that if you do this, we'll do that. We want to make sure everybody's what we call an approved, willing and able buyer, and that way we don't have to wait on you selling another property to buy our property. And then we want to make sure you're competent. We want to make sure our clients are competent. We also want to make sure that our sellers, our clients, our part of our business that people always avoid is the fact that we're educators. We're educators first. So yes, I teach at the Real Estate School, Champion School of Real Estate, but where I teach the most is my everyday clientele. If I empower and educate my clients on the real estate business, it makes another impact on them to where they can change their families financially. And then all about character. You know, before I empower you, I have to establish that I have good character to where you trust me enough to give you advice. And that's very, very difficult nowadays because a lot of people are in it for the quick buck. I have an investor today I'm helping. We're going to meet out in Kendleton, Texas. And he asked me a few questions about, hey, Don, should I buy out here? What do you see the pros and cons of the area? And I just told him like this. I say, one thing about this property, right now it's rural. It's by a train track. It's by a public park. But one thing in real estate, we want to be what we call first to the dance. If I go by in the Galleria now, or the Greenway Plaza area, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, people are paying $50 to $60 a foot to lease commercial space. That's not the first to the dance. That means you're getting there after everything has been marked up several times. Same thing, retail versus wholesale. You got to realize that sometimes flipping houses is good. However, it's retail investment. What I mean by that, the property has already been established. It's already been there before. We are all about from the sovereignty of soil. What about when it was unimproved land? You know what I mean? Back in the day when there used to be rappers, we had a term called sucker MC. A sucker MC would take something somebody else created and try to add their spin to it. A sucker MC has no creativity, and that also applies to real estate as well. So you want to make sure you have creativity and inspiration where you create your own business or your own vision for anything you establish. So if I say, hey, let's go ahead and build over here, Don't do it because I said it. Do it because you heard from God, or you did your research, your site studies, and you saw the impact and the potential economic development and growth in the area based on the traffic flow and the traffic counts through TxDOT, also the school rating, the property taxes. You have to see and forecast. That's the term I was trying to use. You have to be able to forecast, not copycat. Anybody can copycat, but anytime you copycat, you pay more. So when you forecast, you actually benefit the most because you bring your own vision and your own creativity to maximize on the profits. So keep in mind, love where you live, love what you do. We're going to go to one more break, and then we're going to come back and finish up strong. I am Don Davis of DDLRG Luxury International Real Estate, and when it's time to make a business decision about your residence, please keep in mind, it's a Don deal.
Not only do we take care of our clients and our communities, we also are well kept here at DDLRG.
When it's time to make a business decision about your residence, it's a Don deal. All right, we're back. Don Davis Luxury Realty Group. Love where you live. Love is going to get you. DDLRG Luxury International, brokered by EXP. Real estate experts. If you are a real estate agent, amongst the 43,000 we have in Houston, Texas, whether you are Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, please reach out to us through real estate experts. You're able to work on our team no matter where you live. And that's one of the benefits of EXP Realty, collaborating with the best real estate agents nationwide to go ahead and help take your business to the next level. You can go to exprealty.com to learn more about the company. And you can always email me at don.davis@exprealty.com. But I want to remind you that love's going to get you. Love where you live. And that the fact that our results are a reflection of our character, and that upon this rock we'll build our church, and upon that rock we've built our business. And the fact that good things are built on broken things and on collaboration. And I feel like the fact that I was raised in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home, it established me to have the motivation to go ahead and tap into the luxury market to see all I could see through home ownership. And then by me saying that, keep in mind, keep loving your house no matter where you are. Don't let finances trouble your home to where we call house poor. When you're house poor, there's arguments in the house. You can't go out to eat this and that and the other. And that's not how God designed it. So that's why I said, first of all, make sure you have a vision board. Make sure you realize that the grass is not greener on the other side. If you have to share a bedroom with your brother and sister, share a bedroom with your brother and sister until you get your finances together, because the same person who says they need their space, once they get their space, then they end up looking for a companion, a pet, or something to help occupy their space, because the Bible says it's not good that man be alone. So we always want to have our space, and before you realize it, we want a companion. So the main thing is love where you're at, have a vision, do purpose-driven things to make sure you're on track for your finances, whether it's through real estate, the stock market, whatever God has called you to do it to the best of your ability. And the main thing for us today, we just want to show you the fact that be content where you are, love where you live, love's going to get you. If you want to know more about anything we've mentioned today, you can always rewind the show on YouTube, DDLRG TV, and contact us through viewallhoustonhomes.com. But that's our show for today, September 1st, 2019. Love's going to get you, DDLRG.
Do business with the best in the industry. Do business with the Davis Realty. Do business with the best in the industry. Do business with the Davis Realty. Do business with the best in the industry. Do business with the Davis Realty.